Hey, LC3 Family Talk. This is Pastor David. And hey, in today's episode, I'm joined by a couple of people from our communications team, Kate Everts and Aiden Meyerberg. And you'll hear a little behind the scenes prep for some of the things that we're doing here during the Easter season, including a little hint at this year's theme for Easter. But stick around to the end because we're going to give you all the dates of what's coming up. And so now, LC3, it's time for a little family talk. Hello, LC3 Family Talk. So glad that you are here. And believe it or not, we are coming up on Easter, and I can't believe it. It's awesome. It's wonderful. And so because of that, we're going to have a conversation today with a couple of my friends and some folks that some of you will know. I'll let them introduce themselves here in a sec. But other than I'll say it's Kate and Aiden. But they're here because they are part of our team of folks that help us get ready for events and things like Easter. And so they're going to share a little bit of some of the things that are going on that are going to help us get ready, and also how we communicate some of those things, a whole bunch of stuff. And so that's why I've invited them here to do all of that. But before we get into all of that, I'm going to ask them to just kind of introduce yourselves, let us know a little bit about you. Would love to know a little bit about your family, but also your connection. Like, how did you end up here at LC3? And so, Kate, why don't you kick us off?
Sure. Kate Everts, I'm the Director of Communications, and I have been attending LC3 for about 8 years, and I came here I married into the church, one might say. I started dating my now husband, and he was already attending here with his 4 kids, and so I just kind of blended right in with that. And then about 3 years ago, I think, I came on staff as the Director of Communications.
And if you don't know her husband, Jeremy, he's the big guy that's up on stage playing guitar once in a while. Yes. So there you go. All right, Aiden.
My name's Aiden. I actually grew up in the church. I've been in the church for 13 years at LC3, so it's been a really long time. Joined the church when I was 6 years old. And this past summer, I actually joined being the social media manager here at church. So it's been really fun. I was in the youth group doing the social media and kind of transitioned into this.
And you were doing some social media stuff independently too. You had some fun little projects that you were doing.
Exactly. So it's been really fun to do this job, and I've loved it. Yeah.
Yeah, so whenever you see like some of those social media posts on Instagram or Facebook, there's the mastermind behind some of those creative works of art. So good job. Thanks, you guys, for being here.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, love having you guys here. As I mentioned earlier, I asked you guys to come, and you guys knew this, so we could have a conversation about Easter. I'm excited for Easter, and I want to help all of our folks not only be excited, but also prepare for Easter. And so I thought it'd be fun to invite you guys being on the end of communication and trying to tell everyone what's going on. You guys would be the right people to talk about what are we going to be doing at LC3. But before we get to that, I'd love to just hear, when you think back to growing up years, what was Easter like for you guys growing up?
One of my favorite memories, we did it year by year, but it actually was every single year around Easter time, we'd go up north to my aunt's, and we'd have an Easter egg hunt in the backyard. But there was a caveat to it. There's a golden egg and there's a silver egg. So there's basically 2 levels of the best egg that you could find. The golden egg actually had money in it. It went from $5 to like $20 over the years as inflation it went. But it was always like so fun to have that incentive, right, of finding that golden egg.
Okay, were there ever any fights over the golden egg?
Indeed there was.
Okay.
Yeah, very much so. But yeah, I love trying to always be the one to get the golden egg. I didn't want the other eggs. I would spend the whole time just trying to find the golden egg. So there's one year that I was looking all over, and they had literally wrapped the golden egg in foil, which is kind of funny because it makes it silver, right? But they put it up near the gutter, and I was just so proud of myself to find it.
You found it? Okay.
Yeah. I was probably 8 years old.
So did you think you had the silver egg first?
Yeah, I thought it was the silver egg, and it turned out to be the golden egg. So I was like, Auntie, you're confusing, but thank you very much. This is awesome. So I was excited.
All right.
I think my family, we were pretty traditional Christian Easter, and so that always involved church. But we did, I think last year when we were talking about Easter, I shared our Easter basket tradition, and my parents would hide the Easter baskets.
Oh, yes,
And
I
we'd have
remember
to go
that.
look for them, and as we got older, it got progressively harder. So that was always super fun. We always had a good time with that. But the other tradition I remember, especially when you were younger, my dad would always get us a corsage. And so we'd get all dressed in our Easter dresses, and then when we were little, my mom would make our dresses, and we'd have matching little dresses, and then we'd have our little corsage to wear for Easter Sunday. Yeah.
No, I love that. Yeah, our family was definitely kind of a traditional church family as well, and we would do church. I think one of the things that sticks out of growing up years was my dad loved going to the sunrise service. They used to have one over at Mountain View. I don't think they still do, but sadly I haven't checked on that. So we would go over there. It was early in the morning. That's all I remember, and it was one of those things that did stick in my mind as a memory. So the other thing I was thinking about, we're a few more weeks out from Easter as we're recording this, but how do you prepare yourself for Easter? Easter is this one day, right? It's the day Jesus rose from the dead, but at the same time, there's a lot to that one day, and you hate to just wait till that morning and like, oh, it's Easter. What are we going to do? So how do you guys prepare yourself for Easter?
Well, I think quite recently I've started to just take more time in the morning with God. Like, I think what's really important with time with Jesus is that you have time away, right? So I'm in a big family, like one of 8 kids still living in the home. If I don't wake up early, of course I'm going to be bugged by a whole lot of kids. So just choosing to go to sleep, go to bed a little bit earlier so I can wake up early, getting up at 5 or 6 and just spending the whole hour or hour and a half with God just really deepens my faith and understanding of who he is, right?
Yeah.
And so going through the scriptures where it's talking about his resurrection and all those kind of things. But during this time, I think is a really important way to be able to keep understanding it more, but also just having that quiet time is like, I just get to understand who he is more every day. So yeah, having that early time, that set aside time is really important.
That's good. And you're in that birth order, you're number 2, right?
I'm number 3.
Number 3,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
all right.
Number 3.
I was close.
Yeah, close.
All right.
Very close.
I have a hard time taking the time to prepare for Easter, not because I don't want to, but just it's such a busy time of year with work, especially working in a church. There's extra fun things, but extra stuff that comes up to do. And I find myself focusing more on that, or should I do Easter egg dyeing with the kids? Or what are the things I need to bring in for fun for the family when really the spiritual part is so much more important than any of that.
Yep.
And especially as our kids have gotten older, that's maybe not as interesting to them. The empty tomb,
The biscuits, yes.
They're maybe a little old for that. But this year I'm going to hop on the Bible app and look for not all of Lent, but just, a week or 2 long study, just to be intentional about taking that time to get quiet and to really think through and be prepared, because it is so easy to just kind of scatter and think a million different directions.
And that is the point, right? You bring up, which is so good. It is a busy season, especially if you're in church ministry, just because there's lots of activities to get ready for. If you aren't intentional, you can find yourself all of a sudden going to sleep and going, oh, tomorrow's Easter, right? And so being intentional on the front end. And I shared this with the pastors the other day. For me, Easter or Christmas here at LC3 over the last several years, I feel like a pretty good job preparing hearts with the Advent season and doing the Advent wreath. And that's been so great for preparing our hearts for Christmas. And it just feels like the same kind of a thing. Easter, earns the same kind of thought process, right? And so really trying to think that way about Easter has really helped. And that's why things like, I know the more liturgical churches do officially Lent, and I know we don't do it that way, but I think the principle of those kinds of things like Lent have really helped me, thinking about like, what are we going to give up? And so Kelly and I, we gave up one of our little routines at the end of the night. If it's just her and I, is we'll sit on the couch and turn on the TV and we'll watch some show together. Never anything that's important or just a fun show, and then we'll go to bed. And so we decided we would give that up, which honestly, it's hard because we get done with the day and we go plop on the couch and it's like, okay. But that's really the beauty of Lent and giving up something is it's like, why are we doing this again? Like, oh, that's right.
Yeah.
We're doing this on purpose to be mindful of Easter. And it gives you just another moment to reflect and some time that would have spent watching TV to read a little bit or listen to worship music or do something. So, yeah, well, great. I love that. You guys talked about it a little bit. I'd love for you to talk a little bit more just about your role before we jump into all of this, because, we're going to talk about dates and things and where they are, and they might just think you guys are like brilliant people, which you are, but it's also because it falls within kind of your role. So, Kate, like, what is your role and what does that look like here?
Yeah, so as the Director of Communications, I work with an awesome team, of which Aiden is a part, and we also have Rachel Arbogast is our graphic design, rounding out that team. And our job is to make sure that the church knows what's going on and knows where to find out what's going on and what all the opportunities are. So digital, printed, on the screens, online, all those, the newsletters, all the different ways that
The current,
yes, which will be coming out soon, another one. That's what our team does.
Which I love bragging on you guys because it's amazing because you walk in the church and all of a sudden there's this huge banner up there like, how'd that get there? And you guys are back there behind the scenes making sure we have a cool banner for the Jonah series or the Matthew series or
yes, I'm excited for what the stage is going to look like for Easter.
They're like those
We're working on it right now. It's new. It's something we haven't done before.
And the bulletin was there, and then the slides. Anyhow, great job.
Oh, thank
Yeah,
you.
very
It's
good.
a
Very
team
good job.
effort, and we have fun
Yes.
doing it.
And so, Aiden, what does it mean to be the social media guy?
Yeah, so the media administrator, as the website would put it, but
I'll still call you the social media guy, but
yeah, it definitely seems like that. She does amazing job at all the graphics and the stage and all that great stuff, and Rachel handles the awesome graphics on the screen. Now I'm more of the all over the place guy. So I'm doing, the newsletter consistently every week. It's put up every Friday. If you haven't signed up for it, you guys should sign up for it. You can just go to the website at the bottom. And as well as the social media, so on Facebook and Instagram, all the posts that go on there, just updating the church about events that are coming up, which there will be ones about Easter coming up soon, and fun posts. I just love the creativity of it. Have finally started to post my face on there, which I don't know why I was so against it for a while, but I was like, I shouldn't be on there. It should be other people.
Your last couple ones that you were on there, that's great. And you're starting to help more with the podcast and and helping us get that out on social media as well. Appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so making the bumper for this podcast and, helping you set up a few things. We're just getting started on that. And then discussion guide and sometimes sermon notes and online stuff, updating the app, updating the website.
Which again is the thing I love, and I love about having you guys even on here is, for so much of our church family, they just use it all. They don't sometimes even know who is behind all of this stuff. So it's great for them to get to put a face to all of these activities. Yeah. So thanks for doing your role so well. I know as one of the pastors, I so appreciate it, but I know even as a congregant, I appreciate it as well. So thanks for that. What's your favorite part of the Easter season? The obvious is Easter morning, Easter celebration, but in general, what is your favorite part?
I love two things come to mind. As a consumer, I hate to call myself that. As a consumer here at church, I love the night of worship. And we'll be talking more about that, but I just love, that's kind of how we kick off our Easter season officially. Those nights are amazing, and just the Holy Spirit is present, and just being able to sing about what God has done for us and who He is just so powerful. I love that. And the other part I love about Easter, actual Easter services, is just seeing people come in, and people just arrive with a whole different level of joy and excitement for the day, because it is a special day in our church as Christians. I love just watching people come in and engaging with them.
Yep.
And the kids running around, and the girls in their dresses, the boys in bow ties. It's so fun. I love it.
So growing up in Easter and in Western culture, it's kind of like not looked over, right? But in the church, we celebrate Easter, and I think our church does really good at like making sure we highlight it, right? But I feel like a lot of people don't bring the importance that it actually needs, because like we celebrate Christmas, like this big thing, there's this countdown and all that kind of stuff, but Easter, I think, has the same, if not like more importance. Because I mean, I was just thinking, like prior to this podcast, I was thinking about just the importance of the resurrection, right? And that literally disproves the fact that all these, religions are calling Jesus just a prophet or something, because he's eternal life, right?
Yep.
And he provides that through the resurrection. So I think the whole idea of Easter and its true meaning is like something that is just the favorite part of just what, like I pointed to earlier, just reflecting on.
No, you're right. I mean,
season, what it means.
if
right?
Jesus didn't, what does Paul say? If Jesus didn't raise from the dead, then we're wasting our time.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
There's no reason for us to be doing what we do.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's a great point. I love that. Yeah, I'm not going to lie. I do miss those days when our kids were little and we would dress them up, and that was a fun part. And Kelly was so great with coloring eggs and all the fun pieces of it. But I agree. Things like the Easter night of worship, Good Friday service, which again, we'll talk about here in a bit. Those moments that allow us to do what Aiden was talking about, to really understand the depth of what Easter means, and not just, because it's not that there's something wrong with coloring an egg, but it's more that it doesn't actually tell you anything about what Easter's about, right? And so I do love those events that pause us and kind of allow us to, in a deeper way, be reminded of what Easter's all about. As we start moving into conversation about Easter here at LC3, before we go dates and all those things, what are some of the things that we have to look forward to here at LC3?
I think super exciting this year is the theme for Easter is darkness into light, and just the many ways we can bring that in.
Yes, I'm thinking about you artistic folks can.
Yeah. So, and we're talking about how do we take that theme of the darkness we were in and Jesus bringing us out of that into light.
Yes.
And how can we weave that through, whether it's night of worship, whether through the sermon series, through artistically in environments, how can we have just darkness into light and just excitement around that. Even our community Easter egg hunt is talking about how they can incorporate that theme. So it's exciting.
Oh, I love that. So we are going to have, which we'll talk about some dates here in a sec, but we are going to have a community event for egg hunt.
Yeah.
We are going to have a Easter night of worship. We're going to have obviously Palm Sunday, Easter Sunday, but then there's a Good Friday service in there.
Yeah.
So lots of things planned. Why don't we just go through like them maybe in chronological order? What's the first thing that's going to hit?
Well, I've already mentioned Easter night of worship. That's
Okay.
the kickoff to the Easter
22nd.
season. Yep, on the 22nd of March. It's a Sunday at 6 p.m. So that'll
And that's
be,
at the Lakewood campus,
It is,
but
yeah.
it's for everyone. So I know I've already told our Lacey campus, like, come on up, and we're going to hopefully get both campuses up here, and we'll celebrate together and worship together. So, yeah, all of that will be part of that Easter night of worship.
It's a great way to kick off the Easter season.
It is. It is. And then what comes after that?
And then we have the 29th, we have Palm Sunday, and that is The King is Coming, so that'll be really fun. It's going to be at the normal service times, and it's going to be around the Easter series.
Yeah, which again, I'm just imagining, even on Palm Sunday, that theme of darkness to light.
Yeah. There might be some LC3 Easter t-shirts coming out that weekend. So
What will be the theme on the LC3 t-shirts, I wonder?
keeping that under tight
No
wrap.
sneak peeks at the design or anything, huh? Wow.
Yeah, I think we're going to keep that one a fun surprise.
Okay, all right. I suppose. All right, so Palm Sunday, the 29th, or that weekend, Saturday, Sunday in Lakewood, and then, of course, Lacey, it'll be just the Sunday at 11 service. But then we have,
Good Friday.
yay,
Yeah, so that's always a really special service. It's kind of a pared down worship, not the full band. It's a little more kind of not quite acoustic, but it's just
intimate,
intimate.
a little more intimate.
Yeah, and it's
Yeah.
just a beautiful service as we reflect on the sacrifice that Jesus made for us and what that means, and just kind of so often as a church we focus on the resurrection and Jesus coming and then he rose from the grave. It's so easy to skip over the ugly truth of what he experienced and went through for us. And so it's just a pause to take a moment to think about that and
And I know for some that aren't as familiar with church, it can be almost off-putting to call that Good Friday when what we're remembering is Jesus dying on the cross. But it's that good because of what came of that death on the cross. That
it doesn't feel good in the moment.
but what it
it
accomplished is
So good.
is the best news in history. So Good Friday service. What are the times of those?
We're having it both campuses. In Lakewood, it's going to be 5 and 7, and in Lacey, it'll be at 7 o'clock.
All right.
Yeah.
And I wanted to add onto the Good Friday services. Throughout every single year has been such a good opportunity to invite my non-believing family. Like every single year we've actually at least tried to invite relatives, and it's such a powerful way for them to see like the sacrificial love of Jesus, because they get to hear, understand, and through worship too, see the kind of God that our God is, right?
Yeah.
And that he's like sent his son to actually die for us. So I think it's a really good way to bring that picture to their mind and to their heart and give them an opportunity to open up,
Yeah, thanks for saying that, Aiden, because when I think of Good Friday, I don't usually immediately think of that being an outreach kind of like, hey, let's invite, Uncle Joe. I think of that more the Easter service, but that's great. Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah.
Which then brings us into Easter weekend, which is going to be busy.
Very busy.
Yes.
Do you want to talk about Hunt?
The great egg exchange.
Yes,
Yes.
the great exchange.
April 4th.
I feel like I should do
April 4th, it's going to be a huge community outreach. So last year we had over 1,400 people here at the Lakewood campus. Usually we do it over in the field, and we do an egg hunt with all the kids. And so it's a really good way for current attendees to bring their kids, and just the kids get to connect with each other and get to hunt for the eggs. And I think it also is cool because you're honoring the body of Christ, right? You're coming together as a church, all different families, different kinds of people, but all getting together with each other's kids and just celebrating Easter together. So it's a good way to still celebrate the American tradition while,
Yes.
holding up Christian.
Yeah, and I will just say the emphasis of this is not the egg hunt. It's the emphasis of the event in the sense of that's where the fun is, so that kids are excited to come. But they get to experience a really fun presentation of the gospel, and it's done really well. So the whole event's fun, but our culture, they understand an egg hunt. We provide that, and it's fun for them, but really it's much more so this presentation of the gospel that we get to do, which is really great.
Yeah, we have the egg hunt to draw them in, and then we get to share the gospel with them. For our church, invite friends and neighbors to this opportunity, because they'll definitely also be getting an invite to come back for Easter there. But also we're going to be needing volunteers, and I think maybe even candy donations. Be on the lookout for that part of how they can help make this outreach successful to our community.
So it's the Saturday before.
Yep, April 4th.
Yep.
And it's at both campuses. We're excited that we get to do this at both locations. And it will be in Lakewood from 10 to noon. And then down in Lacey, it will be from 2 to 4.
Yep.
So we're excited that both campuses are getting to host their own Easter egg hunt for the local families in their community.
That'll be great.
Yes.
That'll be great. And so then starting that night, we start having Easter services, and we have more services than we typically do.
So many services. So
Start with Lakewood.
Lakewood is where we have 5 services in total. We have Saturday at 4 o'clock and 6 o'clock, and then Sunday at 8, 10, and 12 noon. So all the evens.
Yeah, so it's easy to remember,
Yes.
right? 4, 6, 8, 10, 12.
Yes.
Just have to remember the last 3 are on Sunday.
Right.
Yeah, don't go into the night.
Yes. And here in the Lakewood campus, because we are expecting so many people, we have some additional seating downstairs, and we're asking if our church family can plan on attending either the 4 o'clock on Saturday or the 8 or noon on Sunday to help create space for our visitors that are coming from the community to the more popular service times. And then also we have seating downstairs in Kids Main that we would love if our church family could sit down there to make space upstairs in the worship center. And what a great way to serve.
Yeah, and church family, what I always say is, look, if your neighbor next door, you've been trying to get them to come and they'll finally come, absolutely come to the service that will serve them best. But if it's you and your family and your regulars, you're part of our regular LC3 family, we're just asking, like, hey, consider staying off of that 10 a.m. service on Sunday or that 6 p.m. service, just because they are going to be really full. And like you said, it's a way for us to serve our community and serve our church family.
Every person that goes to another service or sits down in Kids Main creates a space upstairs for someone, it's their first time coming and their first experience with
Yeah, I get it. That's hard because we're there also for us, in which you'll still get a great experience, but you are, in a sense, serving the church by giving just another space, another seat for somebody that maybe somebody has invited in. All right. Now, for those people that are driving and don't remember a thing we just said about times and dates, where can they find all that?
Yeah. So on our website, we have a whole page designated for Easter. It's lc3.com/Easter. Very easy. We'll also have a link from our homepage to find that.
Yeah, I'm guessing there'll be links from everywhere that you can get to that.
Yeah, on social media, Aiden's going to do a bunch
I'll
of
put it
posting
everywhere,
there in our newsletters, in the bulletin. Easter is going to be everywhere.
And then also on the app, if they go to events, they'll be on
Yep, on the
events
app
as
and
well. So
website there,
it'll be
that
in all those places. So church family, you don't have to sweat if you don't remember all of this. It will be out there for sure.
We'll be talking about it in services too.
Yes,
so,
absolutely.
yeah.
But if they have questions, what's the best way?
Yeah, I think if you look at the Easter page on our website, that will hopefully answer all your questions. But if not, you can contact Aiden through social media. Is a
we'll go
great
to
way. Just pop
Facebook
a
or Instagram.
Yep.
send a DM, and he'll get back to you on that.
That's awesome. So as we're recording this, it's still kind of the beginning of the year. We're moving along. By the time Easter comes, obviously, we'll be into April. Wow. That is, I got to stop for a second.
I know.
April.
Oh, it's going fast.
Oh, wow. Okay. But it's still a little bit semi-early in the year. I'd love to just hear, as we wrap things up, what are you looking forward to this year?
Hard to narrow it down. There's many options. I think one of the things I'm really looking forward to is as we're looking at how we're one church with multiple locations.
Yeah.
That's been something that we've been trying to figure out, and what does this look like and how do we make this happen? And I'm just really excited to see how we continue to blend these two families of locations and what that looks like and how we can partner together and really feel that one churchness.
Yes.
And what that looks like and how people from there are sharing and giving up here and vice versa. And just as we continue to learn how to do this one church, multiple locations, just what that looks
Well,
like.
if I can just say, as the staff person that's probably most affected by all of that you're trying to figure out, you guys are doing a great job. Yeah, you're doing a great job. And I know it's not easy all the time trying to figure out how do we do this at 2 locations, but you're doing a great job. So thanks for that. Aiden, how about you?
Yeah, it definitely brings to mind how much growth we've had the past few years. I mean, I've been at this church for a long time, but I remember, 300, 500 people in the church, and it was just such a different environment. And it's been great recently, but we have so many people. And so I think my excitement is over the fact that the current people that are coming, that are new, to see them deepen their faith and have there be more members and have them get connected with community groups or with different ministries within the church.
Yep.
Whether that's couples or kids in the youth group. I've had multiple people text me on Instagram or Facebook and be like, hey, my kid wants to go to youth group. And then I get to tell them about my experience, when I went to youth group. And it just excites me. You get all these young families in a church and they're hungry for the Word of God. And so it's just cool to see that growth and to see God continue to prosper our church body. So
That's awesome. I, too, am looking forward to all sorts of things. A couple of really, really close things that I'm looking forward to. I have a grandchild number 20 coming next month. So that's pretty exciting. And then I'm really looking forward to Easter in a new way because this is my first time in this role as campus pastor. So preaching, typically, if you're not the lead pastor at a church, you don't have to worry about any of the sermons during Easter because it's always the lead pastor that, for the right reasons, takes those sermons. And so this is first year ever preaching through Easter, which I'm very much looking forward to, and shaking in my boots a little bit. But,
You'll do great.
Thank you. Well, you guys, thanks so much for joining me and church family. I hope one of the things you heard today is that we're really excited about this Easter season, and we're doing everything we can as a church staff to set us up for not just a fun celebration of Easter, which would be really good, but also a really meaningful celebration of Easter and all the events around it. So church family, make sure you figure out where you can get all your information so you can stay up on all those, but please do contact Aiden if you have any questions about anything, about life or whatever you got. He'll answer them all. We look forward to seeing you at Easter time and before, but until we see you again, thanks for being here. Take care.